What's up, everybody? Paul Hickey here with NoOffSeason.com. Welcome to episode 38 and a third of the Sports Card Strategy Show. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate that. And I'm flying solo today. So we've got our guy Kendall McKee. He's under the weather. It is the 4th of July, so giving him the day off. But we missed Kendall. We hope you feel better soon. And we'd like to start off by saying thank you to everyone. I'm very, very happy with how the show has gone. We started the show in September, and we're on episode 38 and a third. I can't really count the full episode because Kendall is not here with me. But Nate Murphy, my good friend, the great Martinez, actually helped me start the show. He was actually my co-host for the first 10 episodes, and I just want to give him a thank you. I want to give Kendall a big thank you. Greg Lonso also was a co-host of the Sports Card Strategy Show along the way. And then we've had, obviously, Andy Payson is the host of the Football Card Strategy Show. And big thank you to Andy. I'm working on our fantasy football draft dominator kit right now with Andy, so stay tuned for that at NoOffSeason.com. It's coming sometime in July to help you dominate your fantasy football league so that you can play fantasy sports. And also big thank you to Gary from Houston Card. Gary's been a great friend of the show. He helped me co-host some basketball card strategy shows along the way, along the journey. And just wanted to take some time out on the 4th of July to do a quick episode, quick check-in with you guys, answer any questions that you may have sports card related, and some housekeeping updates from the Sports Card Strategy Show and NoOffSeason.com. Since it is a holiday, we are not doing a full episode today, but I did want to check in with all of you and talk some cards real quick. So before we get into the show, a big thank you to all of you. I really, really, really want to let you know how excited I am about the community we're building here. Guys like Paul Fisher, other members of the Sports Card Investment Report, really, really appreciate you and your support of the premium product. You guys help me make it what it is. For those of you who don't know, we've got a Sports Card Investment Report at NoOffSeason.com. We're continuously improving that product. And yeah, hey Joel, what's up, man? Yeah, sorry about the sound. I'm not sure. I don't really have a microphone, so I think when the intro music comes in, it's a little bit shaky. But hopefully it's better now. Hopefully you guys can do okay. Noah, thanks to you and other people in the community like you who are chiming in and making the live stream. We started doing the live stream, so thank you for making the live stream what it is these days. And yeah, I really, really appreciate everything we have going on in the community. So, for those of you who don't know, the Sports Card Investment Report at NoOffSeason.com is our premium product, and you can save 20% by using the promo code NoOffSeason. And then we also have a partnership with Market Movers app. We love that product. We do a really good job. And you can get your first one for only $1 at Market Movers. Use the promo code NoOffSeason. So use the promo code NoOffSeason at NoOffSeason.com. Take 20%. Use the promo code NoOffSeason at Market Movers app. Use the first one for $1. Yeah. Hey Jason, what's up, man? Jason Mayasaki, good man. Appreciate you joining the Sports Card Investment Report. You've got great questions. So Roby, thanks for checking in. Sorry about the sound. Let me make sure my microphone is maybe I just need to be closer to the mic. into the audio settings. Yeah, MacBook Pro built-in speaker. I think I just need to close it to the mic. Sorry, guys. Usually let me try that. Mic. Okay. Test. There we go. All right. Well, this probably sounds great for those of you on Apple and Spotify, huh? Sorry about that. Normally I have my mic. I'm actually in Michigan, up north in Bel Air, Michigan, where my parents live. So I do not have my mic. I was not planning on doing a show today, but I decided I was so excited about cards and so excited to thank all of you for your support. That's better, Jason says. Okay, so welcome to the Sports Card Strategy Show, episode 38 and a third. Sorry if the audio has not been good so far. Hopefully those of you listening on Apple and Spotify are still with us. Those of you on the YouTube and Facebook live stream, appreciate you hanging in there with me and letting me know the sound was not good for the first part of the episode. So anyway, I was just kind of getting through my thank yous real quick. Thank you to Toa. Thank you to Jason. Thank you to all you guys that are commenting on the YouTube videos. We've had Chris Olivo. We've had Southern Soccer Idiot. I mean, the list just goes on and on. People who have helped us make a great community here. And a lot of people in the Facebook group at Sports Card Strategy, the Facebook group, Merle, Deborah, thanks to everyone, anyone I'm missing, I apologize, but you guys are all awesome. And thank you to DeMarco Williams at Sports Card Investor. Thank you to Jeff Wilson and Doug Husky at Sports Card Investor. You guys are awesome. Really appreciate your support, your partnership. And anyway, a couple housekeeping notes for the Sports Card Strategy Show. We are going to continue to tighten things up. We went to the live stream a few episodes ago, and guys like Toa, Jason, Roby, thanks so much for joining. We've actually had a lot of people add value as part of the live commenting. And so what we've done is we've shifted to add audience Q&A, live audience Q&A. And then we also take some Q&A from the Facebook group that we can actually prepare for. So, but I did want to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what the structure of the show is going to be like starting next week, Monday, July 11th with Kendall and I when Kendall's back. So we're going to start with kind of a segment that I think is kind of cool called L of the Week. So that's going to be like a bogey or a bad move of the week. Something where we messed up. Like we thought we had a play that was going to work out and it just didn't work out. And then we're going to follow that up with W of the week, obviously, because we need to give ourselves a little bit of bragging rights. Back when nooffseason.com was a fantasy football website from 2006 to 2011, I used to do a little segment called He-Man. So that was just a way to brag, like a humble brag. So L of the week, W of the week is going to be a little humble brag. We're going to use market movers for the next segment called Buy Now. Market Movers has a section called Deals. I think Deals is what the section's called in the app. If any of you are subscribers that are watching the live stream right now, let me know if you're familiar with the Deals section on Market Movers. But I find it really useful. So Kendall and I are each going to pick a deal from that section. And that'll be fun, I think. And then we're going to do a Sell Now, a Would You Rather, a Gauntlet. I don't know if you guys watching right now and listening right now are familiar with the Gauntlet segment that Kendall and I used to do a few episodes ago. We've gotten away from that, but I really like that because it was like specifically what cards are available right now. And I would do a little bit of research and kind of pick out cards across different sports that were about the same price. And then I would ask Kendall which one he would pick if he had to pick one of them. And then we would do kind of like an NCAA tournament style. And we just called it the Gauntlet because like he just thought it was so hard to pick. And I didn't blame him. So Kendall and I are going to do that. He's going to run me through a gauntlet. I'm going to run him through a gauntlet. We're going to talk about Sports Card Investment Report moves, and then we're going to take audience Q&A. So that's going to be the new show structure starting next week. We're going to tighten things up a little bit. And so let's talk about updates to nooffseason.com's Sports Card Investment Report. I want to talk about NBA free agency updates, some NFL updates, preparation for the National. I don't know if any of you guys are going to the National. And then we'll take some Q&A from you guys. So drop any sports card questions, Jason, Toa, Roby, any of you guys watching right now. Definitely drop some questions now, and then I'll take them at the end of the show. It's going to be about a half an hour show today because it's the 4th of July. It's 5:09 Eastern Standard Time right now, and we'll let you guys get back to your families and your 4th of July celebrations real quick. But thank you so much for those of you tuning in right now, and thank you to those of you listening on Apple and Spotify as well. So let me take you through updates to nooffseason.com's sports card investment report. And I really wanted to do this because I made some significant changes this week for two reasons. One, NBA free agency. A lot of shaking up happened there and is still happening. And two, Andy Kaysen and I did a football card strategy show, episode 3 earlier last week. Check that out if you haven't yet. That was pretty amazing. Andy's always dropping knowledge there. And so that got me going into, okay, it is really football card season right now. For those of you who don't know, it's really football card season in terms of buying football cards. There's a lot of plays that can be made. I wouldn't buy basketball cards yet because of the free agency hype, but I think basketball card buying season, shout out to Gary at Hoops and Cards. Gary does a great job on his show, Hoops and Cards, talking about basically the hype cycle in basketball and when the best buying season is. He and I have talked about that on the basketball card strategy show. So let's just kind of go through the shakeup. So the number one, I think, most significant move is I moved Anthony Edwards up to number 1 overall on the basketball card rankings and number 2 overall on the overall top 50, mainly because I just think Minnesota, I mean, first of all, they played very well against Memphis in the first round of the playoffs last year. Nobody thought they were going to make the playoffs. Murph, my former co-host of the show, absolutely crapped all over them in earlier episode back in September or October. And I said, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves actually could make a run. They did make a run. They made it into the playoffs through the play-in tournament. They played well against Memphis. Anthony Edwards is a stud. And not only that, but they brought back the entire team, including Karl Anthony Towns, to a supermax deal. And then they traded for Rudy Gobert. And I just think that the addition of Rudy Gobert to that already young nucleus should put Karl Anthony Towns in a position where he can be like a Giannis level scorer. He does not have to play center anymore. And he's got Rudy Gobert to defend. And that's just going to make Anthony Edwards that much stronger too. That kid is a beast. So I see Minnesota actually being like this year's version of a Memphis Grizzlies, where why wouldn't they get the number 3, number 2, or even number 1 seed in the West? Yes, folks, I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves could be the number 2 or the number 1 seed in the West next year with the addition of Rudy Gobert, if they all stay healthy. But Anthony Edwards is a superstar in the making, regardless of what happens next year with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I just like him number 1 overall in the basketball card rankings right now. We moved Steph Curry down a little bit. I think he's more of a hold long term. There's some opportunities to buy Steph, but you're not going to get anything for Steph right now because the championship hype is already worn off. Yeah, and Steph is he's high to buy into. I mean, Edwards is still relatively low to buy into compared to some of the other top guys at the top of the report. So I just felt like it was time to move Edwards up to number 2 overall, just because his entry level pricing, when you compare it to the other guys in the top 10, is extremely low still. And so check out the sports card investment report for Anthony Edwards for more. But we also did shake some things up in the NBA. So we had basically looking at Trae Young moving up. Trae Young moving up made a lot of sense to me just because the addition of DeJounte Murray, I think, is a big one for Trae Young. I think it takes a lot of pressure off of him. And I think that it should just make him that much better. The Atlanta Hawks are showing a commitment to winning now they clearly did not take the regular season seriously last year. And so I think that buying Trae Young cards, buying Anthony Edwards cards in August and September is going to be a great move. I don't necessarily expect DeJounte Murray's value to shoot up as much as Trae Young's as a result of that move. I just think I think it gives the Hawks a situation where they can be the number 3, number 2, or even number 1 seed in the East sooner rather than later. So as it relates to the two teams that I like the most based on NBA free agency moves, I like the Hawks in the East and the Minnesota Timberwolves in the West. I think that as a result, Anthony Edwards and Trae Young deserve to move up. I would buy them. I would wait till about August or September to buy them. Toa agrees. I think it looks like he agrees on Edwards. Yeah, Edwards is setting up to be a superstar, and Toa says as a team, though, they need to be much more efficient and disciplined. I agree. So I don't know if next year is going to be the year for them, Toa, but I do see them in the next 2 to 3 years, if they can keep the core that they have now on paper together, and if they can stay healthy, I think that could be very, very interesting. Devin Booker got a super max. I really like Devin Booker. I moved him up a couple spots. I did move Jason Tatum down a little bit because someone's got to go down as a result of those guys going up, right? So nothing against Jason Tatum, but I did move him down in lieu of those guys. Zion Williamson jumped up into our top 25 on the basketball rankings, and he's now number 40 overall in the top 50. Say what you will. Nate Murphy, my former co-host of the show, giving Nate a lot of shout outs on this show. He cannot stand Zion Williamson. What do you guys think of Zion Williamson? Let me know on Twitter if you're listening on Apple or Spotify. Hit me up at No Offseason Card and let me know you heard episode 38 and a third of the show on July 4th and you wanted to let me know what you thought of Zion. But if you're watching the live stream right now, drop it in here. Let me know what you think of Zion. What I think is that the Pelicans made Zion think a little bit about what he should do with his career long term, and their performance down the stretch made Zion eat a little bit of humble pie. I could be wrong, but I really, really think Zion is going to come back with a renewed sense of work ethic and focus related to being part of the Pelicans team this year. And even if he gets traded to another team, I think that would even make him eat more of a slice of humble pie because the Pelicans are damn good without Zion, and they're going to be amazing if Zion is a shell of himself. So I really, really think that Zion Williamson deserves to be in our top 25, and some of the prices on him are super low. All the guys I'm mentioning right now, I did update their sports card investment report profile at nooffseason.com. So for those of you premium members, log in and check all of this new basketball information out. And for those of you that are not a premium member, I highly encourage you to at least try it. You can save 20% using the promo code NOOFFSEASON at nooffseason.com. So Zion Williamson is another guy moving up in the report. So DeJounte Murray did move up. Jordan Poole and Tyrese Maxey, I still like them. They did move down a little bit because, again, some people got to move down when other people are moving up. Cade Cunningham did move up a little bit, a few spots, because I'm super confident in Cade's career now based on some of the moves that the Detroit Pistons have made. Drafting Jaden Ivey, I think, was a smart move. I think trading for the draft rights to Jalen Duren and re-signing Marvin Bagley to a pretty modest deal. I really, really like what Detroit's trying to put together. They've still obviously got Sadiq Bey. So I really think that, those free agency updates from NBA and the subsequent updates to the sports card investment report were worth talking about today with you guys on July 4th. Even though it's a holiday, I was gonna take this day off and have no show today, but I just love you guys so much and want to thank you so much for all of your support that I thought it would be a good idea to come on and talk today on July 4th about a few things. So, so Steph Curry moved down a little bit. Luka solidified at number 5. LeBron moved up a little bit. Luka solidified at number 5 just because I do like the acquisition of Christian Wood. I really do. I don't think that the departure of Jalen Brunson is actually going to affect Luka at all. I think that with Tim Hardaway Jr. coming back and with Spencer Dinwiddie still there, while Jalen Brunson is definitely a good player and he's a good addition to the New York Knicks team from a basketball standpoint, I just don't know that it affects the card market that much. I mean, Luka's still Luka, and I think that team is actually getting better, believe it or not. So I know a lot of my hot takes kind of go against what other people are saying, but I really think that Luka is solidified at number 5, and that's a good spot for him. Again, I think that August will probably be a great time to dip into Luka a little bit as well. Another guy that moved up quite a bit, Kawhi Leonard. I think it's time that we start to give Kawhi Leonard some serious respect in the hobby right now, because I do think that the Clippers are another contender to be that number 1, number 2, and number 3 seed next year in the West. I think that the Clippers can go on a huge dominant run with Kawhi and Paul George and even John Wall. I know it sounds crazy, but John Wall joining that team, they don't need John Wall, but if John Wall can be a shell of himself on the court again, that could be very interesting. Let me know what you guys think about that. And Toa's chiming in about Zion. I think, Toa agrees that there's money to be made on the hype. That's where I'm at. I think Zion's a buy. I would wait till August and September. But I think he's a buy. And I do agree. Toa says a few big games from Zion will cause his cards to rocket. Absolutely. Totally agree. Could not agree more. I've said it before. I'll continue to say it. Cam Thomas moved down a little bit. I still like him. Even though there's a bunch of turmoil in Brooklyn right now. I just like Cam Thomas as a player. I like Josh Giddey, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander even more now that they have Chet Holmgren on the team. I moved Miles Bridges obviously down. I'm super disappointed in Miles Bridges just because, he was about to be an all-star. He was about to be a superstar in the league. Maybe he still can be, but his off-the-court troubles that came to light this past week that nobody knew about. A lot of, we don't know these guys really as people. So I don't want to say it's surprising because we don't really know, but definitely I'm still rooting for Miles Bridges because I like him a lot, but I think that his sports card market is in trouble, which could, as we all know, that could present a buying opportunity later as we know more about Miles Bridges. But since we don't really know what's going to shake out in terms of his punishments and the impact that his domestic abuse felony is going to have on his career, I've had to move him down a little bit for now. Brunson stayed the same. I just don't really know that I would buy into the hype on Brunson. Jaren Jackson Jr. Unfortunately is out for 4 to 6 months. So when we know more about him, I will probably do something, with his ranking. But for now, I just didn't feel the need to mess with that. DeAndre Hunter did move down just because, with DeJounte Murray there's not going to be as much room for, a number 3 guy like DeAndre Hunter. So the margin for error on DeAndre Hunter and the window for selling him just got a lot shorter and quicker in terms of like I guess Andy would call it like in football, he'd call it like a pop week or not a hype week, but like a week where performance popping out that week causes you to then sell him quickly. And I think DeAndre Hunter is going to be a guy that you're just going to want to, if you're holding him now, you're going to want to look for like a few game stretch in the regular season where he puts up 30 a game, which is possible. And then you're going to want to sell him. Otherwise you're holding for the playoffs and hoping that the Hawks actually do get like a number 1 or number 2 seed. So from a football card perspective, I did move Joe Burrow up quite a bit in front of Josh Allen. Still feeling really good about Jalen Hurts. Moved Kyler Murray up a little bit. Moved Justin Jefferson up a little bit. Moved Deshaun Watson down quite a bit. That needed to happen. Working on some additional football card profiles that should come out soon. Stephon Diggs is going to be added to the Sports Card Investment Report. Marquise Brown is going to be added to the Sports Card Investment Report. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on all of that. Shout out Modern Crime and Cards. Welcome to the live stream. Appreciate you jumping in here. You say, I like watching Zion play, but if he can't finish this upcoming season, it will wipe out millions of hobby dollars. Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people invested in Zion. And, for all of those people, I really want Zion to be on the court. I really want Zion to be a part of the Pelicans winning. I really am rooting for Zion. I know there's a lot of Zion hate, a lot of Zion frustration, skepticism, memes, and the guy can play, man. And there's no reason really why he can't come out at this juncture and just dominate. I mean, injuries are injuries. They happen to everyone. And I really, really hope that Zion can make it through a season. I mean, he doesn't even need to play 82 games, but if he can manage his workload, keep him healthy, keep him ready for the playoffs, the guy should be a beast. So I really hope that happens for all of you that are invested in Zion, or that follow my advice and buy him in August. I really think that's gonna be a play that can pan out. So anybody, any questions? I do see Jason. Jason, we're gonna get to your question, my man, in a second. But real quick, I just want to talk about preparation for the National. So I'm going to the National in a couple weeks. Shout out in the chat. Let me know if you guys are going. If you are, let's definitely try to link up. I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of people face to face, new friends that I've met this past year through the Sports Card Strategy Show, through nooffseason.com, the community that we're building. Join the Facebook group if you haven't already, Sports Card Strategy. And let me know if you're going to the National. My preparation, I've talked about this a little bit on previous episodes. I'm going to walk around with a backpack. I may or may not bring cards to sell. I think I'm going to bring $100 cash. I might do like a trade up challenge with myself. But I'm really there to take it all in. And I don't know what plays I'm going to make. I mean, guys that I'm really buying and holding are Giannis, Magic Johnson. That's more of a PC thing for me. Giannis is, definitely like a favorite player. I think, I'm buying specific autographed cards of those two guys, obviously as investments, but also sort of because I do, people who say buy what you like. I don't always think that that's great advice for investment sake, but it is great advice for hobby sake. I'm also going to be looking for like in a lot of dollar bins. I'm really curious to see if there's like semi hits that are left in $1 and $5 bins. Like I'm going to be looking for a lot of Bowman Chrome first numbered cards, guys that Kendall talks about on the Baseball Card Strategy Show. I'm going to be looking for Topps Chrome soccer cards, numbered rookies, guys that Kendall talks about on the Soccer Card Strategy Show. And guys that Andy talks about on the Football Card Strategy Show. I'm going to be looking for their contenders, rookie ticket autos, position players. If I can get NFL position players for super cheap, I'm going to do that. And I think that the reason why the reason why I wanted to talk about this related to the National is because you don't have to pay shipping or tax. So if the play on a wide receiver, tight end, or running backs rookie ticket auto on eBay is going to end up running me if it's $5 for the card or $15 for the card, it's actually going to end up being more like a $15 to $30 investment, which eats into your profit. But I think that buying these guys that Andy talks about on the Football Card Strategy Show for $5 to $10 in person with no sales tax and no shipping actually will allow you to get more return on investment and flip them either before week 1 or before week 5, right? So I just think that I'm just going to do that for fun and see if I can monetize that I like what Modern Crime and Cards is saying about my Giannis play. That's exactly why he's so high on our sports card investment report, because Giannis cares, and we like that. We like that Giannis takes the game seriously. He just is gonna last. He's just gonna last, and like, even though he's in a small market, the deck was stacked against him. He is an amazing person. His story is an amazing story. The fact that he already has 50 points in a clinching game, and with a championship and a Finals MVP, 2 NBA MVPs, and one Defensive Player of the Year, and he was one Chris Middleton away from beating the Celtics this year. He's just my guy. Like, we talk a lot about how to manage your sports card investment portfolio. Like, what's your sports card investment portfolio made up of? Like, are you buying GOATs? Are you buying heroes? Are you buying flyers? And Giannis is a guy that, like, I think I want my sports card portfolio to be like 50% or more Giannis, because Modern Crime and Cards, I agree. I think he's going to be a guy that has more moments in his career when he's in his 30s, his early 30s, his mid 30s. He's going to be more beloved. There's a good chance that it could be his league. And if he keeps doing things the right way, quote unquote, then he should be an icon. He really should be. So I like Giannis a lot. Modern Crime and Cards, Spider-Man doesn't get hurt or run people over with his Ferrari. I love that. Hey, drop something in the chat, man, if there's any non-sports cards that you think we should pay attention to. We do have some celebrity rankings at nooffseason.com, but honestly, and we just moved Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson into our top 50, by the way. Check that out. But, I do think that there are many, many non-sports plays. It's just, I'm not an expert in the non-sports cards. So, but I do want to have people on the show to talk about that. So if anyone listening wants to hit me up and come on the show to talk about some plays related to Spider-Man, or, other characters, Marvel characters, Star Wars, Stranger Things, anything going on out there. We'd love to talk more about that. So, all right, cool. So audience Q&A. Let's get to Jason Miyazaki. You are the man. Love you. Thank you for joining the Sports Card Investment Report. Thank you for all of your questions. Thank you for being active in the Facebook group. We'll always hook you up with our best advice and help however we possibly can. So he says, after checking sold comps, what's the most successful way to set a buy it now eBay price? Set super high above comps or just a little above comps, taking into consideration if the hype goes up? Okay, great question. It's smart to answer this question this way. It depends on your situation. So I'll give you an example. I've recently listed on eBay at No Offseason Cards and on MySlabs. If you go to nooffseason.com/myslabs or nooffseason.com/eBay, you'll see all my listings. I recently have started to list card by card cards that I just got back from PSA that are essentially from when I was growing up, my old sports card collection. So some of the more valuable ones, like I got a Scottie Pippen 1988 Fleer PSA 9 on that. I got some Michael Jordan 9s, not from 88 Fleer, but from like 89 Hoops and 90 Fleer PSA 9 Jordan. I also got a Dennis Rodman 1988 rookie PSA 9. And so checking sold comps on all of those to try to figure out buy it now on those sort of better grades that I got. Because I didn't really have any money in those cards other than the PSA grading fee, which for me was $12, which was amazing. I listed it slightly above recent comps. And because there's really not going to be any Jordan, Pippen, Magic, Rodman hype, right? So it depends on the card, Jason. It also depends on your situation. So because of those reasons, because there's not really any markers coming up for those guys, and there's not really a hype cycle for them, and I didn't really have much money into those cards. I just went slightly above recent comps. I expect to get offers slightly below recent comps. I expect to probably accept those offers because will have made profit. But like, let's say that I buy, what would be a good example? Let's use football. Let's say I get real sneaky and I buy like a DeAndre Swift or a Jared Goff because I'm listening to Andy Kaysen from the Football Card Strategy Show at nooffseason.com. And I'm listening to him say the Detroit Lions are his sleeper pick to make the playoffs. And I'm thinking, all right, I can get Jared Goff super cheap. I can get DeAndre Swift super cheap. What I would do with those guys is list them probably week one, maybe 25 to 50% above recent comps as a strategy, because their recent comps are going to be super low. So if you want to capture like a buy it now situation, if they have a big week one, which they could, Andy thinks they're going to, potentially have a good season. He also likes Amon-Ra St. Brown, TJ Hawkinson. So anyway, if you're going to go with kind of like a daily fantasy football type strategy on that stuff, that's what I would do. I'd go like 25 to 50% above recent comps. I think though that there are some people who do sort of a general rule of thumb, like doubling recent comps is kind of a thing that I know a lot of people do because they expect to get an offer of 50% of their listing. So modern crime and cards says, ask yourself, how much money do I need to wake up tomorrow without that card in my collection and still be okay with life? That I could not have said it any better myself. Modern crime and cards. You're new to the show. You're at least new to commenting. I love it. You're already adding a ton of value. I appreciate it, man. So keep it coming. Let's link up. Maybe you can come on the show as a guest. I agree with that. Yeah, he also says Trinity Rodman. Trinity Rodman is a women's professional soccer player in the United States. She's Dennis Rodman's daughter. We did talk about her on the Sports Card Strategy Show a few episodes ago. That's one thing we try to do is add value and not be Captain Obvious. We try to talk about like Shedeur Sanders and Arch Manning and Bronny James and different plays that can be made other than just like your typical current baseball guy who might make the playoffs because it's baseball season, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, modern crime and cards. Great call on Trinity Rodman. She is super expensive though. That's a big risk. That's the only reason we don't really have her on our sports card investment report yet, although we probably will add her because being Dennis Rodman's daughter is kind of a big deal. Yeah, Trinity Rodman's kind of cool. A cool person to follow. We're also following Coco Gauff pretty closely, the U.S. women's tennis star. The reason why we like her, we're gonna add her to the sports card investment report at no off season because she hasn't won a Grand Slam yet, but my understanding is that she's going to very soon. Her cards are not cheap either, but they're definitely a lot less than Trinity Rodman's autos, I think. I might have to do some more research on that, but Coco Gauff could be an amazing play. I wanted to let you guys know that I'm following her pretty closely and going to add her to the sports card investment report. One of the reasons why I wanted to do a show today on the live stream too is just to see how many people tune in on a holiday. And we're 39 minutes in. We had some rough audio at the beginning, so I apologize for that. But we have 20 live viewers right now, and that's very strong. Really appreciate you guys jumping in on a holiday. We are building the show slowly but surely, and we are building more and more great content for you at nooffseason.com. Definitely appreciate all of your support. Happy 4th of July. And if I didn't get to any of your questions on this show, join the Facebook group at Sports Card Strategy. Go to sportscardstrategy.com. There's a quick link to join the Facebook group there. Drop me your questions. Kendall and I will answer them on episode 39 next week on July 11th. You can tweet me at No Offseason Card. Follow me on Instagram at Sports Card Strategy. At Lefty McKee is Kendall on Twitter and Instagram. And drop a comment on the YouTube video if you're listening on Apple and Spotify. Go back and find episode 38 and a third on our YouTube channel and drop us a question or a comment, and we will reply. We always reply. We appreciate the community. Everybody, happy 4th of July. Thanks so much for tuning in. Let's keep the positivity in the hobby. Let's keep buying sports cards that we love. Let's keep doing our research into those cards that might be good investments. We are going to keep the great content coming at nooffseason.com. And stay tuned for the Football Quest nooffseason.com Fantasy Football Draft Dominator Kit featuring Andy Kaysen of Football Card Quest and nooffseason.com. That's coming up. Check out the Sports Card Investment Report at nooffseason.com, where you just get more than 200 player profiles customized for sports card investing. Where else can you find that? Where else can you find rankings across all sports, starting with the athlete, then going to the cards once you upgrade? Save 20% at nooffseason.com. Use the promo code NOOFFSEASON, all lowercase. Everybody, thanks again so much. Happy 4th of July. Have a great day, and we'll see you and talk to you again next week on episode 39 with my guy Kendall McKee on July 11th. Everybody, thanks and have a great day.